Good day, and welcome to the second of 3 modules in the FPI MyMoney 123 series. My name is Sanati Mohale, and I will be taking you through this module. In this module, we'll be looking at dealing with debt. The other modules are personal financial management, as well as understanding savings and investments. I'd like to elaborate on the following points. FPI MyMoney 123 is a financial education community outreach project. The aim of the project is to actively engage all South Africans to consider and ponder their personal financial planning responsibilities and goals. Many South Africans have never had the appropriate guidance or opportunity to explore and discuss their personal financial needs without the need to sell them something. A disclaimer: the content of this session does not constitute nor replace any form of financial planning advice, and it is not intended to be relied upon to make or refrain from making any specific financial and/or other related decisions. Appropriate independent financial advice should be obtained before making any such financial decisions at all times. The presentation content, presentation discussions, any financial planning tools, or workbook material will never provide judgment, provide any recommendation, guidance, or proposal in respect of the purchase of any product, make any form of recommendation in respect of the investment in any product, guide you to conclude any transaction, including a loan or cession aimed at the incurring of any liability or the acquisition of any right or benefit in respect of any product, influence you to apply for a product, replace a product, or terminate a product. It will never condone nor support any financial institution or financial product. The presentation and content will only give factual information, describe procedure to do a financial transaction, describe a financial product, answer routine administration questions. The Financial Planning Institute of Southern Africa is a South African Qualifications Authority recognized professional body for financial planners, which serves the public by ensuring that people who carry the CFP and other designation are qualified, experienced, and professional. FPI has also been approved by South Africa Revenue Service as a recognized controlling body. The Institute is also recognized internationally and is a founding and a current affiliate member of the International Financial Planning Standards Board Limited, based in the United States of America, along with 25 other affiliate member countries who offer CFP certification, the highest recognized professional designation worldwide for a financial planning professional. Now, financial planning is a process which covers 3 important fundamental questions with regards to one's financial situation. 1, where am I now? 2, where do I need to be? 3, how do I get there? A successful financial plan answers these questions, making provisions for life-changing events such as death, disability, retirement, retrenchment, divorce, and so on. The financial planning provides financial freedom after the event has occurred by enabling one to maintain a lifestyle which one is accustomed to. This is achieved through a financial planning process which leads to appropriate solutions for each individual's needs. What or who is a certified financial planning professional? A certified financial planner mark or designation is internationally recognized as the benchmark for professional advice. Holders of this designation have met stringent qualification and competency requirements, as well as abide by unequivocal ethical standards. In 2015, a survey was conducted where 19,000 consumers took part. And it was found that clients who work with a certified financial professional are highly confident that they will achieve their financial goals. Clients of certified financial professionals rate them highly on honesty and integrity, understanding clients' needs, placing clients' interests first. Now, of the nearly 150,000 registered representatives that are registered with the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, only 4,800 are CFP professionals. Now, you can visit www.letsplan.co.za to find a financial planning professional. To start off things, we need to firstly look at the difference between a need and a want, as this will help us when we do our spending plan. A need is something that we can't live without, such as water, food, and shelter. A want is something that is nice to have, such as a new car, designer handbags, or a new cell phone. Now, we might have heard this say before, which says you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. Now, one might ask, why do we need to set goals? It will firstly help you to decide what you want in life. It will help you to stay focused. It will help you to measure your progress as well as success. And it will help you to keep you motivated. Now, it's important to set SMART goals. And when we talk about SMART goals, we're referring to goals that need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, as well as timely. An example of a SMART goal is, I want to buy my own house in 5 years' time. When dealing with debt, it's important to understand how does one build their credit record. Firstly, what is a credit record? It contains information about your financial history and payment behavior, which could be good as well as bad. Why is it important for you to build up a credit record? Basically, your credit history is important because lenders, insurers, employers, and others may use it to assess how you manage financial responsibilities. Your credit history determines your ability to obtain credit. Your credit history can also determine the terms granted, such as the interest rate that you will pay. Credit providers use your credit score to measure the risk in taking you on as a client before they approve or decline your application for credit. Bearing in mind that this will depend on the credit provider's own credit granting criteria. It's important that you manage your own credit record, your payment history, your account payment history, whether do you pay your entire installments on time or you don't pay your installments. Having too much debt would also influence your credit record. Now, the relationship between interest and credit record is that a good credit score will give you a favorable interest rate. When it comes to a credit record classification, in South Africa, a credit score ranges, if we're looking at the ranging, it's from 330 and 850. A high score indicates responsible borrower, which would be the excellent bar, while a low score means a less responsible borrower, which would be then the red bar. By law, South African citizens are entitled to one free credit report per year from one of the credit bureaus, such as TransUnion, ClearScore, or any other. The higher your score, the better. Credit providers use your credit score to measure their risk in taking you on as a client before they approve or decline your application for credit or for increase in your credit limit. Your credit score does, however, Give credit providers a quick and easy overview of your general credit behavior. And also remembering the relationship between the interest rate that you will be granted as well as the credit record. It's important that we are able to deal with debt, as debt will hold you back. It is a handbrake, and too much debt will keep you from making any form of regular savings. So ask yourself a few questions. How did I get here? Whom of you know what interest rate you pay on your debt, and which debt attracts the most interest rates? Let's talk about good versus bad debt. Bad debt can be accumulated quickly and is often easy to access, whereas good debt is difficult and there's often a qualification criteria that is a barrier to entry. Before entering into debt, it's important to also pause and think. Understand the cost of credit, which we will delve in the next slide. Make sense of your own debt. Remember to ask yourself a question. Do I need it, or is it just something I want? Remember to take all the costs into consideration. Example, the installment that you're paying, the interest, the admin fee, insurance, and any other associated costs and charges for that specific debt. Now, when we look at bad credit versus good credit, bad credit being the survival credit, where we're living on either overdraft or having to get personal loans in order to survive. Whereas good credit gives you the opportunity for wealth creation. Now, in the next slide, we look at cost of credit. Normally, if you think about buying something on credit and the interest rate is, let's say, 20%, how often do you think the item will only cost you 120%? Let's say the item is costing 1,000 Rand, then it will cost you 1,200. But in fact, if we take a closer look, it will actually be costing you much more, 1,560, making the cost at 156%. Now, with this example here, we've got a laptop that's been advertised where the installment is 317 Rand per month, paid over 24 months. The interest rate advertised is 16.8%. But if you look at the installments that have been paid over the term, being 7,608, the cost of this credit is actually 156%. Now, if you take that example and you take that 317 and you save it, it would take you 16 months to be able to afford that same item in cash. And if you saved it in an interest-bearing account where you are earning interest of, let's say, 4%, it would take you only 14 months. So before we enter into debt, once again, is to ask yourself, do I need it, or is it something that I want? Because most of the time when we fall into the debt trap, it is because of that instant gratification, the syndrome of having it now and paying later. But ultimately, it costs you even more. In the next example, the installment is 260 Rand per month, payable over 24 months. Now, in total, person would have paid 6,240 for an item that cost 3,799 if it bought cash. So meaning there that the cost of credit is even higher at 164%. Now, in this example, and in the following one as well, it just illustrates that the cheaper the item is that you buy on credit, the more expensive the credit becomes. Now, in this example here, The installment is 213, but the cost of credit is even higher at 170%. So how do you go about calculating the cost of credit? Take the installment that has been advertised, multiply it by the term, so the repayment term. Divide your answer by the purchase price. So if you just look at the formula that we were applying to get to that percentage, that cost of credit, it's that installment that's been advertised times the number of months. So how much have I paid, the total cost that I've paid towards this item, and taking that total cost, dividing it by the purchase price, and multiply by 100% to get that cost of credit. Now it's important for you to make sense of your own debt. So use this table to focus on your own debt. This will help you to understand which of these debts is the most expensive debt. When will you be debt-free, looking at the repayment term, as well as what's your total outstanding debt. So this table, which consists of columns where you will name your debt, how much do you owe, what's the interest rate on that specific debt, what's the monthly repayment, and what's the remaining term left over to pay off fully that debt. So it's important that you understand that going forward, your monthly budget needs to be in order. Reduce and manage your debt. And this will help you to also improve on your savings. Set short, medium, long-term, smart goals for yourself. Also, consider your estate. Do you have a valid will in place? Does your husband or wife or the immediate family that you're leaving behind have sufficient knowledge of the finances to continue should you pass on? Talk to your children about money. Find out, do you have adequate insurance? What conversations do you have with them in terms of conversations with your children? Do you incentivize them to save for what they want and limit the value of presents? Because it's important that we start from a very early age with educating our children so that they can also in the future be able to manage their own finances. As mentioned, you can find yourself a personal financial guide as well as a financial planner, certified financial planner on the website www.letsplan.co.za. Also, scanning this QR code will allow you to sign up for our consumer newsletter. The newsletter is packed with valuable information to assist you in your journey going forward. So please go ahead and scan this QR code. With this QR code, if you visit our FPI website, it will allow you to download tools to help you in your financial planning journey. These tools include a budget tool, a vehicle finance, and even the cost of credit calculator that we mentioned as well. It's important that you consider your own personal financial planning. I thank you for your time and I hope this was valuable.